Hello, great people. The media has been awash by the news of Segun Olowookere, the boy that was sentenced to death for allegedly stealing fowl and some eggs. On this episode of Politics with Dr. Folashade, we will be discussing the issues surrounding his conviction, and I will be clarifying some misconception to you, and we'll be looking at the Nigerian justice system and the hope of the poor and what the future holds for the Nigerian justice system and even the rich and the poor. We'll be looking at that and a whole lot more on this episode of Politics with Dr. Folashade. Now, I need to start by first telling you the story of Segun Olowookere because the story would help me to erase some misconception and it will help me in my further analysis about the issues surrounding the conviction of Segun Olowookere. Some people are thinking that Shagun was newly convicted. No, Segun Olowookere was convicted in 2010 when he was 17 years old. So by implication, Segun Olowookere has been in detention since 2010. Some of you thought that because the story just made it to the media, you thought Segun Olowookere was just convicted. No, he has been convicted way back since 2010. Because of what? Because he allegedly stole fowl and eggs. Another thing you need to know that Segun Olowookere is the only child of his parents. Is the only child that his parents has. What happened? What led to his conviction? Somebody reported at the police station that his fowl and eggs were missing. And when the person reported at the police station, they went to Segun Olowookere's father's shop and the police shot into the air while they were looking for Segun Olowookere. In other words, you are looking for a 17-year-old boy at that time and underage, and you are shooting gun. Whereas you want to go and arrest armed robbers, you won't shoot gun. You will, when it comes to bandit, herdsmen, this new sect, Lukarawa, Boko Haram, there's no gun to shoot. Suddenly there will be no bullet, there will be no amenity. But because somebody has stolen fowl and egg, you are shooting gun at Segun Olowookere's father's shop. Even if you look at the cost of the bullets that was shot at Segun Olowookere's father's shop, the cost of the bullet at that time would even be more than the fowl and the eggs that was stolen. So that calls into question sometimes the operation of this low cadre of the Nigerian police force. Some of these low cadre personnel, they usually act overboard. So at evening, after they were not able to arrest Segun because he wasn't at his father's shop, they came to their house in the evening. And Segun's parents were telling him that, Segun, please run away. His friend came to the house. Segun, run away. The police are looking for you. Segun was adamant. He proved stubborn. He said, no, I'm not going to run away because I'm not guilty. I don't even eat chicken. I don't like eating chicken. What I like to eat is meat. So me that I don't eat chicken, I could have been accused of stealing fowl. Like, what do I want to use it for? So he said he wasn't going to run away. That there's no way he will run away because he's not guilty. And he believes that since he's not guilty, definitely they will find the truth and they will know that he's not guilty. So despite repeated pleas for Segun to run away, he insisted that he's not going to run away. He didn't run away. And at the end of the day, the police eventually arrested him. When they arrested him, they took him to the police station. And his parents were pleading for his release. The DPO of the station at that time allegedly demanded for 30,000 naira. Segun's parents ran back and forth. They were able to get 20,000 naira. They appealed to the DPO that, DPO, please receive this money from us. The DPO said no, that is going to collect that 30,000 naira complete, or Segun is going to go to court and he will make sure that Segun is jailed. Now, let me point out something there before I continue the story. That shows that the police officer was ready to compromise. Let's imagine that Segun Olowookere is truly guilty. If Segun is guilty, that means that the police officer was willing to collect 30,000 naira at that time and set Segun free. What if Segun is not guilty? Let us flip the coin. That means that the police officer was willing to collect the money at that time, despite realizing that Segun wasn't guilty. So either which way, The police DPO at that time was just after its own pocket. And that tells you the Nigerian story. And, you know, if you look at all this kind of thing, you want to reimagine again that can the UK Conservative Party leader, Kemi Badenoch, can she really be blamed? I only blame her for speaking bad about the Nigerian police on British media. I didn't mean she's saying it amongst her friends and family and colleagues. Definitely, I won't be against her. But for her to have been saying it before the British media, that's where I'm a bit displeased with her. In the sense that there's no perfect system, right? But don't try to paint Nigeria bad, especially when you are saying all the police officers. Because as I've said in my video about the issue, that they are still good police officers. So it's not good to paint the whole system with one brush. We've seen police officers that are performing well and they are doing a whole lot of good to the Nigerian society. So when his parents couldn't, when Segun Olowookere's parents couldn't provide the 30,000 naira, Segun was charged to court. At the end of the day, Segun's parents discovered that the person that is complaining of foul stealing is even a member of their family, like a distant relative. They appealed to the person. The person said no. When the police came to court, the police testified in favor of Segun Olowookere, but that relative testified against Segun Olowookere, and the judge handed down the death sentence because they allegedly found cutlass and this hunter gun, the gun that hunters used to use in the house of the father of one of the friends of Segun Olowookere, that they were being accused of stealing the fowl and egg together. But at the end of the day, Segun Olowookere's friend was set free, remaining only Segun Olowookere in detention since 2010. Shout out to Biola Adebayo that made this issue of Segun Olowookere to gain public attention, because the parents had the opportunity to appear on Biola Adebayo's podcast, and that was how the issue got to the media space. Now, let us go into some things. First, I don't encourage stealing. Stealing is a bad thing, and it's not good for anybody to steal what doesn't belong to him or her. Now, let us look at it from another angle. Death sentence for foul in an unrighteous country, a country where people are stealing billions of naira and they are walking free. Yaya Bello was accused of stealing billions of naira of Kogi State funds. Yaya Bello is walking free today. He has been granted bail, and he has fulfilled the bail condition and is walking free. So if people that are accused of stealing billions can walk free, can sabotage justice, not to talk of people that allegedly stole fowl and egg in a country where stealing is like a culture. Stealing is like a culture in Nigeria. Look at it, from artisans to contractors to politicians. If they are yet to steal, they are not happy. If you give work to an artisan or a mechanic, if that mechanic is yet to have to spare part money, he hasn't worked for you. If you call your electrician to fix your wiring in your house, if that electrician has not added money, he is not pleased that he has worked for you. So in a country whereby direct and indirect stealing is a culture, you now award a death sentence. That is bad. In a country where politicians steal, in a country where INEC is unrighteous, whereby you collect money for IRF and IRF will not work and nothing will happen. What has happened to the money that was collected to provide electronic transmission of votes for the presidential election? Nobody has accounted for it. In a country where even pastors are unrighteous, there are some pastors that steal tithe and offering. There are some pastors that preach prosperity lyrics to swindle people of their hard-earned funds. Is that not direct or indirect stealing? So in such a country, handing the death sentence to a 17-year-old boy is absolutely wrong. There are so many things that could have been done. There are other fundamental ways of punishing such a boy and making sure that even if he's guilty, he doesn't do such again, other than death sentence. In a country whereby politicians get light sentence, the Yaya Bello was accused of stealing over 80 billion naira. He was given 500 million fine. So if you place it by equation, if Segun Olowookere was accused of stealing chicken and egg, that means that if he will be granted bail, if the chicken and egg is worth 5,000 naira, that means that Segun Olowookere should be granted bail like maybe 500 naira. Because if Yaya Bello is accused of stealing over 80 billion and he was granted 500 million naira bail, you see, it is only poor men or poor people that get tough sentence in this country. So it is not, it is not good to be a poor man in Nigeria. Else you go suffer, rightly or wrongly. And that brings to light that there needs to be a review of the case of all prisoners in Nigeria. Because there will be many Segun Olowookeres languishing in prison now for minor offenses. There will be many Segun Olowookeres that what they need is just a little amount. I know that some NGOs, some civil societies are trying, but that is not enough. There should be a review of the whole judicial system and look at the data and records of people that are languishing in prison, apparently unjustly, and in the spirit of the Yuletide season, they should be granted pardon accordingly. Because I know that it is not only Segun Olowookere. There are so many Segun Olowookeres in detention. And you see, Nigeria have to be very careful. Because in Nigeria, too many innocent blood are being shed daily. And as the Bible will say that those innocent blood, they will cry for justice. So if Segun Olowookere has been detained apparently unjustly, because you can't hand over a death sentence for somebody that steals fowl. That boy, Segun Olowookere, is innocent compared to the level of stealing in Nigeria. So you cannot hand over death sentence to somebody that allegedly stole fowl and egg. And that's why I said Nigeria has to be careful not to always imprison people unjustly and not to shed innocent blood. Because if you look at it, too many innocent blood have been shed. Look at the case of Kensaro Wiwa and the 8 others that were killed by Abacha. Look at the case of Bola Ige, Dele Giwa, and so many other people that have lost their life unjustly in this country. Or some people that non-state actors took their life and Nigeria was not able to fight for them. Nigeria was not able to give them justice, and that is very, very sad. So Nigeria should begin to look at it in such a way that justice will be given and nobody will suffer unjustly. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omosola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we relax to analyze politics and happenings in the polity. Do want to subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have great, interesting videos coming your way. Lest I forget, kudos to Governor Ademola Adeleke for looking into the case of Segun Olowookere and putting all the machineries in motion for its eventual release. And I hope that soonest Segun Olowookere will be released and unite with his son. And not only release, it will also be kind of like made to see therapists, and it will be properly monitored so that at the end of the day, it doesn't end up becoming a criminal, because the Nigerian correctional facility, rather than correct, usually turn people into criminals. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.